Once again, put your hands together for Mr. Sanjay Borkar. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. Yeah, hi, this is a pleasure to speak in front of a crowd who is looking to listen to the digital transformation for agriculture. I would like to share my experiences and the offering which we have around this, which we have been offering across the globe. Basically, if you see, the population is rising and the demand for food is also rising very fast. And there is a challenge typically to supply this food to around 10 billion people around the globe by 2050. And it is putting a lot of pressure on agricultural systems to grow that exponentially as the demand is growing. Talking about this region, there are challenges which are related to water scarcity, food security, climate change. And plus we have challenges like soil erosion and soil degradation. Now, can technology, especially digital technologies, be used to solve some of these problems? May not be all problems. And the answer is yes. Through smart solutions. When I say smart solutions, those are digitally enabled technologies which can be used to solve some of these problems. Advanced technologies could be used to maximize the efficiency, increasing the crop productivity, reducing the environmental impact. It also can be used for precision irrigation, typically saving the water, saving the nutrients, optimizing the chemical usage, and it could be used to improving the sustainability by improving the soil health monitoring. Now, what does a smart farming technologies in combine can look like? So this is just one visual which I have prepared, wanted to share with you. Like farm management software, a platform typically which helps in managing all the operations for the agricultural companies as well as farmers, where the data can be captured. Second is IoT devices, so wherein a lot of information or the data which is being captured on the field through devices may it be for automated irrigation or monitoring livestock or crops that can be captured. Third are the sensors through which the data can be captured for soil sensor, moisture sensor, and then it could generate some kind of advisory which will help to improve productivity on the field. Fourth are the drones, typically used for spraying, for drone imagery, for calculating for basically coming to the crop health and the pest and disease control, and also using artificial intelligence and machine learning for creating the crop models, which typically will help in solving a lot of problems in agriculture or typically farming. We're talking about farm management software. It is just a platform which captures the real-time data on the field, right from pre-sowing to harvest, and help in planning as well as execution of the operations. Second is the precision agriculture, typically involving sensors, drones, satellite imagery, monitoring crop health, soil moisture, and pests. Third is artificial intelligence, creating algorithms which will help improve the crop yields, which will help understand the pest and disease detection for the farmers and the fields, and helping farmers optimize all the resources on the field. Fourth, obviously, IoT. So they are saying that around 500 million devices would be there globally by 2030, which will capture the data on the field. Now, with all these, which is possible and which can be done, I am now coming to a slide on which I would tell what we have been doing and what we are actually offering in this region as well as other parts of the globe. So we are FarmERP. Basically, we are having a farm-to-table cloud-based multilingual and multi-tenant platform, which is a cloud-based software platform, which typically has digital transformation at the core. We help in improving the efficiency, boosting the productivity, as well as reducing the operational costs for a lot of our customers who are agribusiness companies. We also work with AI, IoT platforms, which are integrated with our platform to give a single sign-on experience for our customers and to manage their data to improve the productivity, profitability, and bringing the predictive outcomes. We also have launched FarmGyan platform, which is an AI platform which helps in agricultural intelligence. These are the number of companies we have worked with. So we have worked with farms and plantations, contract farming companies or outgrower management companies, as well as pack houses and export companies. Around 800,000 acres of farmland is being managed using FarmERP. We are in this space from 1.5 decades now. So we have started pretty early, and now we are building the experience as well as number of customers who are using our ERP. These are typical modules which covers from pre-sowing land preparation operations to sowing to harvest operations, pack house operations, logistics, as well as exports. So the entire business operations for farms and plantations, for exporters, for outgrower management companies can be handled using these modules. Now, what is the value proposition? Typically, it improves the operational efficiency for the agribusinesses on the farm, off the farm. It also reduces the manpower cost. It reduces the labor cost, which is the costliest resource in many cases. It optimizes the inputs like fertilizers, chemicals, and human resources and machinery hours. It also integrates all these on-farm resources to a central server, which gives a lot of visibility for the management who is basically investing in the business and which is very, I would say, which is away from the farm, and they get better visibility onto it. Of course, along with this increases the productivity, crop health, and also get to know the cost of production and the best plots which are profitable for you. You can arrive at that because this also has got finance module into it. Now, these are typical operations which are covered. So farm operations from, as I said, pre-sowing to harvest. Then farm machinery management. So a fleet of farms machinery can be managed with tracking devices. Labor management. So we have got artificial intelligence based attendance system, which is a face recognition based attendance system for labor. So you can optimize your labors. Warehouse and process management, sales and delivery, and financial management with real-time climate smart advisory. It also covers operations for outgrower management, because typically what happens, businesses have their own farms, plus they work with multiple farmers. They work with farmers and they procure from them. So the entire operations from farm to fork is managed here. We have a mobile application which works as a native application which captures the data on the field, and that is pushed to the a central server. These are the governance module. We call it dashboards, which typically helps you in actual versus plan. So whatever plan you have in the farms and what you have achieved. So that can be mapped here. Further, it has got integration capabilities because no single system is possible for business, and we offer the integration capabilities like we have integrated this with SAP, Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics, Sage, and on other side with hardware devices to give a single sign-on experience to the users. Now, AI, there's a lot which has been talked about AI. AI is a buzzword, and everyone is using AI in many industries now. But with our practical experience of 1.5 decade of providing technology solutions in agriculture, we have started offering FarmGyan platform, which is an artificial intelligence and machine learning based advisory to our users. So it involves climate smart advisory like nutrition, irrigation, agronomic, then pest and disease control, then raw material quality assessment, crop health and yield estimation, and as I told you, labor attendance. This is one of the screen which shows how your field and crop infrastructure is managed over maps in this. This is a climate smart dashboard. So I'm just showcasing few of the screens of the software, which typically helps you in nutrition advisory, irrigation, and agronomic advisories. This is one of our solutions which gives you tree count. So typically to help in achieving and managing the mortality of the trees. So typically in horticulture crops where there's a regular planting which is done and there's a lot of mortality. So with this intelligent model, you can find out how many number of trees you have are there, and you can do the gap filling. So it gives you accurate plant mortality report. This is a pest disease detection module, which typically helps to identify which pest and disease is there on the field. Now, with this experience, I would like to share my one of my case studies in this region, because that is more important than what we have done in other parts of the globe. So we have worked with this company called Silal, which is a fresh supply chain, which is a leading company in UAE. And we have been working with them from last 2.5 years. And the objective was to digitalize their entire operations, because they are into managed farms. So they have their own farms. They also work with around 1,200 to 1,300 UAE farmers. So they are like contracted farms where they procure from the farmers. They have pack houses, they have collection centers, they have their delivery chain, and they supply to the supermarkets in UAE. Now, to manage a 365 days supply of vegetables from these farmers of the quality which is required by the customers, we thought of digitalizing their entire supply chain, farm to fork supply chain. And we also developed a farmer-facing app for them, because when farmers supply their produce, they are your suppliers, and you need to actually train them with the best practices of agriculture. You need to solve their agronomic problems so that they could provide that produce at the right time of the right quality. And we achieved this with this mobile app. So this is a mobile app which is in English, Arabic, and Urdu, which has been used by farmers here. The field engineers typically send, the queries by the farmers are sent to the field engineers, and the field engineers give answers to the queries. This basically helped improving their productivity on the farm and got them advisory at right time, just in time. Secondly, when they book their appointment to the collection center, it starts from in our system called FMS, which is again given by FarmERP, wherein you could book the appointment, the produce comes to the pack house, it gets packed, it gets stored in the cold store, it gets shipped the entire production plan, customer plan, supply plan, harvest plan is done using our system. So this entire digitalization helped them bringing all these touch points in single system. Basically, the outcome was an end-to-end supply chain to automate and support every farming touch point. I would say not farming, it's contract farming, pack house, and shipping, from production to packing to delivery to traceability through FMS FarmERP. Most importantly, the impact which they had is organized and optimized farmer to supermarket supply chain, which they achieved. Then increased on-farm productivity and profitability for the farmers, and of course improving planning for the company as well as for the farmers. It ensured 365 days delivery of quality vegetables to the UAE consumers. The produce can be traced back 100%. So from which farm it is coming, what has been sprayed on it, what was the agronomic practices, everything being recorded there. It reduced the wastages of raw material in the pack houses, that is additional advantage. And it improved the communication with the grower supplier. So, I mean, this is a case study which we built, and it has been successfully being used by Silal in this region. Now, what else can be done using technology? So, I think sustainability challenges could be achieved using technology. We could support regenerative agriculture, smart water management, climate resilience. We could also support the traceability right from farm to field to exports. We could also work on food safety. I mean, these are the global issues which we are tackling through our technology solutions. That's why I have listed them here. So, implementation of good agricultural practices, integration of third-party systems. Most importantly, keeping track on the residue levels on the vegetables and fruits, which is possible using technology. And lastly, and very important, the climate resilience, because it is impacting a lot to agriculture, and it is basically creating a lot of damages and losses. So how we could literally mitigate this. Now, with this background, I would like to tell what is the vision for FarmERP for Middle East. So we are basically in the business of providing digital transformation solutions as a force multiplier to food system to enable the businesses to enhance productivity, profitability with predictable outcomes. We have focused on developing, designing, and implementing new technologies in the region, typically which will solve the problems like food security, climate change, and sustainability, which I would say not solve, but we would help solve some of the problems out of this. And lastly, we are aggressively doing collaborations with government institutions, companies in the region, agribusiness companies in the regions, the farmer cooperatives, businesses in the region, so we could drive the next wave of digital transformation for them. I think to conclude, I would say the future of agriculture is digital. Technology in coming years would tell businesses or farmers what to grow, when to grow, how to grow, where to sell, to maximize the productivity and profitability. That's the future where we are moving towards. And we obviously would like to assist all the stakeholders go digital and form a long-term technical partnership with them. I think that's all. I hope I am in time. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks. So, yeah. Please, any questions? I'm ready to take. Yeah, please. You need to give him a mic.
Awesome. Thank you for the great presentation. I found it really informative. I have two quick questions. The first one is regarding the farmers' adaptability of these kind of agronomic decision support system. How do you see that, and have you seen any challenges regarding this?
I cannot hear you. Can you be a little louder?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. My first question is about farmers' adaptability of these agronomic decision support systems that you provide. Is there any challenges or any shortcuts for farmers to adapt these systems? I know it's going to be different for different cultures. And the second one is about the data privacy. Do you feel farmers are comfortable sharing this data with you? And who owns the data? I'm just curious about that. Thank you.
So to answer your last question first, the data is always owned by the customer or the farmer. So they own it. We do not use their data for any commercial purpose. That is point number one. The challenges, if you ask, like typically smallholders, it's very difficult to sell technology to them because the adoption level is very low. Obviously, the investment capacity is very low, and that is the reason why it is so. Secondly, to arrive at accurate advisory, which would help the farmer in his day-to-day practice, it requires a lot of R&D. It requires a lot of iterations to come to that accuracy. Just to give you an example, like if I want to give advice on the crop water requirement for one plot, for that region, for that crop growth stage, I need to tweak it for multiple times and test it. Now, farmers have multiple crops. We are working in multiple regions. To arrive at the accuracy, it will take little time. But one crop at a time, one stem at a time, one region at a time, we are improving that. So right now, if I tell you the accuracy, some of our models are working with the accuracy of more than 85%, but some of them are still in the stage of 60%. So we are improving it. So it will take little time. That's why I said it's a future of how to grow, when to grow, and all. So I hope I have answered your question. Thanks. Any more? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Susan Payne. Can you tell us how old your company is, where you developed your IP? How did you develop this? When did it start? And is your audience largely, as you say, governments? Or, they must be, because I very much agree with your question, actually, that was just posed. To translate this into farmers that I work with would be a real jump. It's very hard to make that leap from a corporate, commercial, large farming enterprise into something that is even a medium-sized farming enterprise. So do you deal with anyone small? Like, what's the smallest client that you have, actually? That's my question.
Yeah, thank you. Nice question. That take me back to 2006-07 when I started working with farmers. So basically, being a computer engineer, me and my colleague, when we started this company, we started working with smallholder farmers. Being in India, there's a lot of smallholder farmers, and we started working there. The reason, the problem which we faced is, as I again would say, the adaptability by the farmers. Unless they group, unless they come together, and we give them solution which will help them. So when we worked with exporter organizations or exporter cooperatives, it actually started working for us rather than going to individual farmer, because that is very difficult. So to answer your question about how this, which is very easy for working with corporates, how difficult it is to work with farmers. For us, we started working with individual farmers, but now we work only with businesses. And we work with businesses who work in turn with farmers. So they have some intention and they have some objective to engage with those farmers for various reasons. They might want to sell them products, they want to procure from them, they want to give them advisory, but the entire communication with the farmers is done on the platform. I'm not sure whether I've answered your question. one more here if you want.
Actually, it's really easy. Sorry, I'll yell. What is the size of your smallest farm that you basically service? Or a collection of the small, are they 2,000 hectares? Are they 3,000 hectares?
Good question.
What is the smallest farm?
Yeah, the smallest one maybe 100 acres. Yeah, and this is for the corporate. This is for the business, but for the businesses who work with farmers, it could be less than 1 acre, because then they have collective. They have multiple farmers.
Yeah, I understand the smallholders working with the larger farmers, but 100 acres is incredibly small. Are they growing chilies or garlic, or what are they doing? Because that's very small, 100 acres, for this kind of thing, it would strike me.
No, because this comes into, I would say, modules.
Okay.
So not all modules would be required by a 100-acre company. It might be useful for someone who is using 100,000 acres or 50,000 acres or 5,000 acres. So it varies. It's because it comes in a modular structure. Whatever modules you want to use, you can use it. But the basis is digital transformation. So using digital technologies for the entire process, not just farming, but packing, selling, finance, because with this we could really come to a unit price of production. I can even put every single tree as a biological asset in the system, which is another angle.
But you'd have to be growing quite a high value crop at 100 acres to actually make that work for the farmer who is very price sensitive.
Yeah, typically not for row crops, but for horticulture, plantations and all. Thanks.